How are you doing? My name is Greg. I'm a D-Bay driver. I've been doing this for 25 years. I started in 1999. I've done quite a few other jobs at Pepsi. For overtime, I've probably merchandised every supermarket a dozen times. I've driven bulk all over the state. But my main job that I've had the whole time I've been here is a D-Bay driver, side loader. So I do train new employees occasionally. And what I have found is, since I don't really necessarily have a checklist on how to check everything and to make sure I cover everything while I have a guy in my truck, he could be in my truck for a few days, a week or 2 weeks, whatever, is I decided that because of all of this institutional knowledge that us guys who have been doing this for a long time that we possess, that I felt like it's better if I kind of try to help the company out with these new guys by standardize the training and the tips. Before somebody gets on a truck for the first time, they're able to see what their expectations are. And speaking of expectations, some guys do a lot of stuff that are not in their job description, going above and beyond, for that customer service aspect of what we do. And I put a lot of that in this video. So you're gonna have some guys say, well, that's not in my job description. You just watch the video and you see what resonates with you. How about that? And I've also got another video coming up that's going to show you how to work the handheld, because it's kind of hard when you're learning all the stalking and you're learning the handheld, and if you're not used to using a wheeler, all the stuff is going to be brand new. It's a lot to dump on somebody at one time. So the other video that I'm going to make with the handheld, with the apps that you're going to have, everything should be time-stamped, like how to void an invoice and how to reprint an invoice or whatever situation you might run into. So this video, it's taken me weeks to put together. Every time I see something that I'm like, oh, this would be a good little training video, whether it be 30 seconds or a minute or 15 seconds, I'll just put it in. And I tried to do a little bit like what it's like to walk into the building in the morning and get in your truck and do your pre-trip. But then after that, it's not necessarily in chronological order. It's just a lot of stuff that I've put together. I've tried to eliminate some of the redundancies. I've filmed some videos where I think I already put that in there. I got literally an hour and a half worth of clips, so you can imagine how many it is. What else is there? Yeah, so I hope you look at this video and make this determination whether this kind of job is in your DNA. Because some guys might onboard, get in a truck, drive for a couple of weeks and say, this is not for me. That happens every once in a while. So you're going to get a bird's eye view of the job, the expectations, the interaction, how you can ingratiate yourself with the customer by doing the little things. Because let me tell you something, you can work so hard and do everything 99% the way a customer loves it, and you're going to have customers that are going to complain about that 1%. So if you can walk out of that building and then almost not even notice the work that you did, then you're doing a good job. But they'll notice the things that you don't do. So just try to always work in a way that you pretend like you're the person that's going to come in the next day and stock. Okay, we're driving, we're delivering. Not every customer wants you to stock. Some customers want you to just leave it in a certain area. Even if you do that, make sure it's nice. Just be courteous the way that you stock the product. Don't light it up right down the middle of the cooler and walk away. And when they call and complain, you can tell your boss, oh, they just told me to drop it. No, pretend like you're the guy going in the next day or later on that day to stock the product. That's how I like to leave the back room. Even when I stock, I like to leave it in a way so when they come in the next day to refill, it's going to be easy for them. So having said all that, sorry it's kind of long intro, but hopefully it looks to you like it's something that you're going to like doing, and I hope you do. Good luck to you. I hope you like it, and I'm not going to put my phone number on here, but you can ask anybody, what's Greg's phone number? I want to give Greg a call. You can call me anytime if you have any questions. I'll help you out. Any of the older drivers, you get a hold of them, and they'll help you out. Okay? So I hope you enjoy it. Good luck. See ya. In the morning, you're you're gonna come into the driver's room. You should already know what route you're gonna be doing. I'm doing 315. So here it looks like I have some CO2 paperwork, which by the way, we keep the extra stuff here. We keep the chilled paperwork here, and both of those are gonna go up in there at the end of the day when we turn them in. So I wanna make sure I have the right route number, my national ID number, the load number. That's when you download that onto your computer, that's all gonna match. You have notes in here. Some of the notes might say, oh, you need a key to get into this account. So you'll just come over here. Here's the key box. Boom. You'll look in here for whatever customer that needs the key. Let's say it's number 11. Obviously you pull it from there and you make sure you have your printer. This will be my printer, 315. We have rolls of paper right here. You're gonna grab your paper to go. If you need to upload a customer, this is where the customer list is. Alphabetical order. That's the COF number, the customer on file. You will upload that. That's all gonna be in a separate video. If you're gonna do a route and you've never done it before, sometimes you can get the drivers who are familiar with these customers to make notes for you. And they'll put down something like FD, front door, there we go, FD, front door D drop, back door fill, front door fill. You also have notes, deliver through front door, stack, these 2 liters, 6 high and cooler. So obviously we're not gonna go, 7 high. Some might say barcodes, front door. So just make sure you check your notes. And if you're not familiar with the accounts, see if you can have guys put it on, because some places we fill no matter what, every time. Other places the customers don't want us to. And if you go in and you're doing it the way it's not supposed to be done, it's going to make the regular driver upset, or the customer upset, or the salesman upset. So if you're not sure, other drivers are really, really good at making notes for you and helping you, so your day will be a lot easier. This is your employee break room. Please help us to keep it clean. I have seen the bay trailer be incorrect before on this manifest. So if you go out there and you find out that's actually not your vehicle, what you can do is come back into this room, the driver's room, and you can look on this for the date, which would be, that would be for the 15th. So I would look for route 315, go all the way across, and my tags should end in 1971 and 1972. So then you go out and look at the trucks to try to find tags that match those numbers, because that's where you're loaded with 1 CO2. What you can do, if you don't know what the tractor number is you can come out and look at all the trailer numbers right there, and you can see if that trailer number matches what's on your manifest, which that one does. So that's how I know this is my tractor number. Here's where you double check the tag number. You can see the route is 315. The tag number ends right there in 1972. We have a match. So you have your manifest, you have your printer, you have your paper, you know what route you're doing. I'm doing route 315. It's kind of dark back here, but on this fence behind all the trucks tells you what vehicle is parked where. So I'm it's supposed to be, 315, 314 on down the road. So on the back of everybody's vehicle, they have their wheeler, their dolly, their hand cart, whatever you want to call it. That is that man's tool for the day. That's his, like if you want to go into fleet and take somebody's toolbox, that's not going to be cool. So don't be coming back here and just randomly grabbing somebody's wheeler. Usually they'll have their name associated with it. Sometimes they'll have a spare out back, like this is a lay down wheeler. That's because they have 2 regular wheelers, so they're probably training somebody. That's why they have 2, so they had to take their lay down off. Don't just start randomly grabbing whatever wheeler that you find. If you don't have one, just go to your delivery supervisor, and tell them you need a wheeler, and they'll assign you one. You can see I have my lights on here for my pre-trip, but one way to make sure all your indicators are working without getting in and out is you can click this light switch up one, hit your lamp check button up one, and this is going to cycle through all your lights. High beams, low beams, work light, brake lights, indicators, everything. On your dashboard, you want to keep an eye on the DEF, your diesel exhaust fluid, because if that runs out, your truck will shut down. And when you want to fill that up, it's just right out here. Where is she? Right over here. DEF only, this blue cap, you can pull into fleet. They'll give you a gallon or a 2.5 gallon jug, or they have a barrel with a pump on it, and you can just fill that up. It's a lot easier when you're doing your DEF, when you can just pull your vehicle right into fleet, pour right up to this barrel. We're good to go. So once you drive around the building in the morning, you'll come up to the back door, which is this area is called the canopy, this addition where the checker will check in your vehicle. You just hit this bell. They typically like it when you just ring it once, and then as soon as he's available, he'll come open that up for you and check in your vehicle. Once you get in, the checker will pull these tags off the handles there that keep these bay doors locked, and then he will scan those tags to make sure you're associated with the right vehicle. Okay, once you pull into the canopy, the checker's going to get your cooler for you. You've already got set up to scan the barcode to check out. There you go. Now you're ready to run your route. I have the bottom cooler. We should really always go with the number on the side. So this number is 41, because the numbers on the door don't always match. Let's see what we have. 41. So that's our cooler. So then we will hit the cooler app up here. See that? You can either hit that thermometer, or you can swipe up. So this is going to go down and try to detect. It's basically detecting all these coolers that are in here. So you want number 41, you can just type it in here. 041. Oops. And there it is. 41. We're going to hit that toggle, and we're going to hit confirm sensor. And we have a connection to our phone, so we're good for the day. We don't need the paper temperature log. I'm going to try to connect my cooler to my app. It didn't work inside the canopy, so I drove out away from all the other coolers, and it still doesn't connect. Sometimes when I drive out of the canopy, it will connect but under a different number, because the numbers don't always match. Well, that means I'm doing the paperwork today. Alrighty, so I finished my chilled paperwork for today. My paperwork, because the app didn't connect. Got the date, location, address, route number, my name, the trailer number that I was driving on, the cooler number, and before I leave the building, they want to see the time and temperature before you leave. I personally write down the names of the stops where I've done it. Then it's going to ask you the number of stops with chilled. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I'll put 5 here. Well, first let's double check. Chilled paperwork, I have chilled product. How many stops? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Confirm. So I got all 5 stops. I have no chilled left on my truck. And I will turn this paperwork in at the end of the day. Very important. Or you will get a voicemail. Customers for the day. Now, if I want to go to this stop next to see what side of the truck it's on, then I would go into my maps, which I'll show you in a second. But I'm going to go to Cumberland Farms. But look here, I have Cumberland Farms, Newington, and Cumberland Farms, Lafayette Road. So when you have 2 of the same store, you make sure you print the right one, okay? So I'm going to go into my maps. Now it shows a dot where all my accounts are. If I don't know by heart where that store is on the dot, I can look here and let's say Cumberland Farms, Lafayette is stop number 5. So we go back here. Let's open it up a little bit. So here is stop 5. So I'm in my maps. I can tap that. Now I can go to service customer, but it's going to red flag me. You are outside of the geofence. So I'm going to go back. I'm not printing it. I'm just going to print the pick list. So Cumbies, I got the right one, Lafayette, pick list. This particular account, okay, it's getting 44, but they like the barcodes. The barcodes. I'll print that, and then I will know what side of the truck it's on before I get there. That way it kind of helps me decide where I want to park. So we have our invoice printed. Double check, Cumberland Farms, Lafayette Road. We can see everything is in bay 11, bay 11, bay 11. Sometimes it's more than one bay. So look all the way down. It could be bay 11, bay 10. Then you have your chilled on bay 5 or bag in the box on bay 6. When you look at your invoice in the morning, and it's going to tell you, you know, this middle column, what bay you're in. So this says bay 4, but you're going to scroll down, keep going, bay 2. So you have some product in bay 2. So you have bay 4, bay 2, and you have bay 5, which is where your chilled product is. So on the driver's side, this is where the numbers start. Bay 1, bay 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 7 bays down. We do have some trucks that are 8 bays down. This half bay, this is just an old safe. We used to collect cash. We don't anymore. It was not uncommon to come back with $1,000 of cash back in the day. So anyhow, bay 1 to bay 7, that's on the driver's side. You continue over to the passenger side. It just continue. The number goes from 8, 9, 10, all the way to 14. What makes it a little confusing is the warehouse numbers it differently. They will number the driver's side D1 to 7 and the passenger side P1 to 7. So sometimes they need to move a pallet around, and you'll get a note on your truck that says, pallet P3 moved to P4. That means the pallet on the passenger side 3 has been moved to 4. But generally going on the pick list, it's always 1 through 14. And it could say, like, here's bay 2. It could say 2T or 2B, top or bottom. So you got to watch for that as well. So now you go back to your, most of the your phones here are 2018 for the password. 2018. Now you can print from here, or you can go back to the main, and it will highlight. Once you're inside that geofence, you pretty much know you're at the right stop because it's green. Then I can print from here and begin service. It's important that you hit begin service when you get there, because the computer will save how long it takes for you to make this delivery on average, and that helps the dispatcher calculate, how many hours your day might be. If you do it like as you're leaving, then you remember, like, say you print the pick list and then you get there and you make the entire delivery, and then you go to get your signature, and then you realize, oh, you haven't even logged in yet. It's going to throw the time off. Right now we are at Speedway. We're expecting 59 cases. So, boom, Speedway. Over here, we look at the sticker. Bay 3. Let me see what bay.
Before.
We are Speedway. We are, the middle column is Bay 4. The right column is how many units. So let's say you got two 12 packs. There's two 12 packs per case. See, 12/2. So it's a 12 pack, two to a case, 4 units, Bay 4. Here's another example. 1 liter, 1/15. So one case is 15 units. Some customers want to scan you by the unit, some by the case, some just, well, you get it. So the middle column is what bay the product is in. So it's all Bay 4 until we get down to, where's the chilled? You rip that. It's getting a little awkward here. Where's the chilled? Right there. This is Bay 5. So Bay 5 is a home style orange juice, which is right there in our cooler. So then let's say, look at this. The cooler temperature is, well, you can't read that, but we have been marking the cooler temperatures on here. So I will write the CO, the customer number, the time of delivery, and the temperature. The customer number is, see, Speedway, right there, Speedway. That is the COF, customer on file. We would write that number down. The number's on there as well. So now we want to confirm we have the right number of cases. So how many does this sticker say?
58.
58 plus 1 chilled. So 59. We have 59 cases. So we are at the right bay, the right stop. We can then double check the product once we pull it off. So basically right now I'm going to show you kind of how I stacked this and why I stacked it the way I did. But first I want to tell you that I printed this invoice before I even got to this account, just so I could see what side of the truck it was on. And it was on Bay 7, so I parked so that my bay is facing the door that I'm going in, so I'm not like walking around the side, you know, it's just easier to get in, quicker to get in. And then right behind Ryan here, I put a cone down. I put a cone behind there so cars can see when they come in. And then obviously when it comes to stacking, it's common sense. You know, you put the bigger, sturdier boxes on the bottom and you kind of build it up, kind of like a pyramid. And kind of like, see, I have 3 Liptons right here. So I don't want to put one Lipton tea over here, another one over there. I want to, so when I get checked in, I want it to be easier for the customer to see where they're all at. All right?
Absolutely, Greg.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Bay 4. Bay 4. Boom. And we have, what do we have here?
You can say apple or no pulp.
No pulp and an apple. And we've got to, every time we make a delivery of chilled product, you can close it because this is going to connect automatically. We have to connect the app. Oh, 420. Let me see here. Take extra reading. Okay, 432. And if we have no chilled delivery for like a straight hour, at least once an hour, we still have to do a reading on the temperature. These Tropicanas don't have cardboard on the bottom. It's just plastic. So if you stack it on the ground and you try to scoop it, you can do some damage to the package. So I just like to put them in a 20-ounce crate. So that way when I need to bring them inside, I can just scoop it. No problem, no damage. Everybody's happy. Sometimes you can build a stack that's a little shaky. For example, this one, these 18.5s can be a little shaky on the bottom. They're just kind of a loose wrap. And so ideally, I would have put this, a Gator Light on the bottom. That's a very strong package. And then build that from there. Because this is just a little wobbly. So obviously when you have a stack like this, it's pretty easy to scoop. What I do is I kind of rock it because the weight shifts back and forth. So when I rock it just a hair, you know, when it reaches the apex over there, that's usually when I scoop. You know, it just takes that little bit of pressure off of this side. But over here, a lot of times, you know, some of these blades are not as easy to scoop underneath cardboard as others. And sometimes when you like, mine scoops pretty good. Let's say, for example, you keep hitting it. Let me try this one. And it doesn't want to go underneath. Well, we have a wet ground, so it's kind of hard to make my point. But a lot of times, this cardboard is going to stick to the ground. So what's easy to do is when you're rocking it, is come in, and attack it from the corner, like that, or the other corner. If that one's not working, try the other corner. I see, there we go. It got stuck right there. So just a little stab at the corner sometimes will help you get underneath that cardboard. Okay, let's double check this order here. 20 ounce, I got a subtotal of 13.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay, bingo. 16 ounce Rockstar sugar free, 16 ounce.
Rockstar
16
sugar free
ounce.
for 1.
16 ounce, okay. We have 16 ounce bubbly 112s, 2 each, so for 4. 2 different packages there. That's right. You got this one,
Yep.
2, and then these
4.
2. Nope,
Oh.
these 2.
Perfect. 4.
13 ounce Starbucks for 2. 13 ounce Starbucks Pepsi,
right
the glass.
here.
Okay, 9.6 nitro Starbucks.
Right here.
All right, 9.6. Okay, you got 14 ounce muscle milk for 2.
Right here.
Both 40s. Okay, there's that.
Pro and Pro.
20 ounce Propel. 2 for 6 cases. 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, on the bottom.
5, 6. Perfect.
Okay, 20 ounce Gatorade for 2.
20 ounce Gatorade would be behind you for 2. Right here.
2, okay, 700, that's that Sport Cap Life Water.
Right here.
700 ml. Yep, that's the Sport Cap. And then I have 1 liter Life Water.
For 3.
Is that 3?
Yep.
Yep,
1,
3.
2,
1, 2, 3. We got bingo. Thank you. Once we get checked in, we can bring our product into the cooler and start stocking. So right here, where we got the Lipton 18.5s, they're all up here. We're looking for the blue, and the blue is right there. Booyah. Generally speaking, these coolers have pretty much of a universal setup as far as the display of the flavors: Pepsi, sugar-free, wild, diet. And then you've got your dews all together, your flavored dews together. So just keep that in mind when you go in and there's no stickers and it's almost empty, and you got to try to fill it. Just try to keep in mind the general flow, the typical flow of the product. Right here is going to be my back stock, and this I'm going to put this stack in front. These are some of the flavors that they go through the most in the store. So these are the flavors that are the slowest selling ones. So I'm gonna bury those in the back, and then I'm gonna push this one in front. So when they stock during the week, they're more likely to be able to pull the ones that sell the most and take care of that. This is a good job on the back stock here. The Gatorades are all stuffed up there. These back stock Gatorades are on the mule. We got these on the mule. We got them in the crates. So we're not leaving a mess all over. We're not using up a lot of real estate on the floor. It looks good. If you ever turn these fans off, no matter what, you have to remember to flip that switch back on when you leave. The customer will flip if you don't. Remember, this was a check account. So we got our signature, and now it's asking for the check number, which is 3976. Oops. And the amount. This is going to tell you what's owed. What I like to do is I like to just type in this number right here, which is what they actually wrote the check for. 78342. Then I'll go back and double check. It's kind of like the way of making sure I just do a blind accountability here. I know what they gave me. Now I want to know what I'm expecting. Because if I just look at what I'm expecting, sometimes I'll just type that in. So this way I know I'm right. And then obviously you double check the date, who it's made out to, and the amount that's written in. I just don't want to show you because it's somebody's personal routing ID, whatever. So it's just that simple. And then you hit done and see if it accepts it. Oh, this line right here is somebody paid you cash, but we don't accept cash anymore. So let's see if it accepts it. Boom, took their money. End service. A lot of times what I will do for a customer is once they pay me and everything's good to go, I will just write on here, paid. I'll write the check number. And I'll just give them a little signature. That way they have a backup that they paid with my signature. You can even put your route number if you want to go that far. Another thing is if you fill out a check for a customer, on the bottom left corner of that check, they always expect the invoice number to be on that check. Sometimes they'll fill it out themselves. So that's just another thing that they like. Lastly, Pepsi requires that you put the customer number on the top left corner of the check. So 387. So I have the customer number up there, matches here, and then I put dash and my route number. Okay, customer number, route number. I was told years ago not to fold these checks up because they go through a machine and they get jammed. So I just have a little 1 liter rack here in my truck, and I just put them in like this so they don't get wrinkled up. Alrighty, here we go. We're bringing the bag-in-a-box in, but we're also bringing one tank. My CO2 paperwork shows that I'm delivering one tank. So I'm going to put a check here. I delivered one. Let's check my invoice. It doesn't show me picking up a tank. I'm still going to look to see if they have a tank and empty, and I will give them credit for that. And then I will mark that I delivered one and that I returned one. All right, so this particular account, they're going to check us all in at one time. So we have to stage it inside and then get checked in. But they don't have a lot of room for us to stack it. So we're going to have to double stack it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the straight ups first. And I'm going to put them up against the wall. Then I'm going to bring in the oddballs like that. And we're going to put them in front. So then when I get checked in, we can see all the oddballs right in front of us. We're not going to bury them behind the straight ups, and it's going to make it a lot easier to get checked in. These numbers on the 12 packs represent the month, the expiration month. So you have July, 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 June, May. So make sure you put the one that's going to expire earliest on the top and always rotate. I'll show you what happens when drivers don't rotate. We've got a 5 down here, a 5 here, 6, and a 7. So the next guy that comes along, he pretty much has to pull everything out, all that out, to rotate product that should have been already rotated. So help each other out and rotate, please. Pick each other up. Usually the first thing I'll do when I come into a cooler is I'll start working this back stock over there. Fill the Gatorade, because of whatever I bring in. If I stock from the back stock, it's going to give me room to put the new product. Before I work this diet that I'm bringing in, I want to check to see if there's any back stock diet, and there is, so we're going to get rid of the old flavor first. And you can see some more down here, so we're going to, work through this stack, move it to the side, and then what we don't need, we're just going to put in the bottom. Great. What do we got here? Cranberry. Great. We're going to definitely take our cardboard out with us when we leave. We're not leaving the cardboard in the cooler. Right here, the first thing I'm going to stock is this vanilla. You see how the door swings open this way? So they're going to be grabbing from here first. So you want to put the old product over here. I can condense this. Now I'm going to have 2 rows of the new product here. So the customer's probably going to grab this row first before it works its way down there. That way you're rotating this out. So right here I'm bringing in a raspberry tea, but unfortunately every single one is a different flavor, so I can't do 2 rows of it. I have 2 in there, so I'm just going to drop this down for a minute so I can put in the older date first. I think I can fit 8 in a row. Let's see. So now I bring up the 2 newer ones. Boom, rotated. Back stock, we'll put in the back stock area. Alrighty, here's another one. I got the sugar-free Rockstar. So I want to fill this whole row up here with the new flavor. So I'll just move this out of the way. Pretty simple. I think I can go, let's say I can go like maybe 7 and 7, 7 and 8. There's 3 there, or 4. Fill that, right? And then the rest will go to the right-hand side because the door swings open this way. So they're probably going to grab the closest aisle first. So obviously the same thing applies over here with the 20 ounce when I'm bringing new 20 ounce product. And these are all half empty over here. I'm going to move them over here and I'm going to put the new Mountain Dew on the side. So another thing too is I'll just poke around, look at the dates. May 24. Right now it's middle of April, so we're good. We got June. Sometimes the dates are stamped on the side. It's hard to read. You can shake it up and get the bubbles and boom, April 15. Ooh, that's getting close. So just keep an eye on that. What's today's date actually? Oh, today's April 9. Yep. Oof. Definitely those will be out next week. I want the date facing the outside. Okay, so right here I brought in 6, 12 plus another stack of 6 more. These are all exclusive flavors for this account. So I texted the salesman and asked him if he wanted them any place special, and this is where he had me place them. Here's an out of date. date. So I'm going to give credit for these. Technically, it's the, I'm going to return to customer service. Today's order not found, create a new one, yes. Next, return, scan. Technically, it's the salesman's job to do this, but we're all in the same sandbox, so if you got the time, just get it out. Out of date. Next. One unit. Add package. Four of these would equal one case. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be one case. But this is just one unit. One unit. Next. That's it. Save and exit. Close. Print. Everybody's happy. Some of your accounts, they're going to be closed when you get there in the morning, so they're going to give you a code for the keypad, and you're going to get the key out of there, and you're going to bring in the product, and because you're not getting a signature, we're just going to put key account on the invoice, and then we're going to leave the invoice somewhere where they can see it when they come in, obviously, so it's not out of sight, out of mind. A lot of guys, they throw out their elbows, and they get elbow surgery towards the end of their career, because a lot of them are just taking these 20 ounces and they're just pulling on them. But you can't just pull on it. You always have to lift it up. Come on. Like this guy right here, I just bounce it every time. I bounce it all the way. That way, you know, it's not going to get caught up. Even right here, just a lift, just a tiny little lift up. I mean, it's common sense, but I tell people they hurt their arms, man. They just start yanking and it gets caught up. Sometimes this plastic will be wrapped around it like this in the back, and you just got to be careful. Longevity. We are industrial athletes. Okay, so here's the situation where I have to bring 12 packs to the back door, come back, get more product, bring that up. So the problem is if you put 12 packs on your blade and you bring it to the back door and you unscoop it to go get more, when you come back, you have to re-scoop it. And not all blades are created equal. So the odds of you damaging a 12 pack with this blade when you try to re-scoop it are pretty good. So I put them, when I have to do something like that, I'll flip them in a blue tray. And on the bottom, like this is your 12 pack regular, but on the bottom into the rack, I'll flip it like that. So I won't have to force it in, so you don't damage the package. And that way, you can just take it and scoop like that, which is why they call me Scoop Doggy Dog. Right now, I'm at an account that historically has been wavering back between charge and check. Sometimes they fall behind. So I really want to make sure that it's on charge before I go in. You know, sometimes you really got, because you don't want to bring the whole order in and then find out they can't write you a check and you have to bring it all out. So just pay particular attention to that every chance you can, whether it's a charge or a check. And if it's a check, sometimes when you go inside, just say, oh, you guys write a check, right? Just so they know, because sometimes maybe the boss isn't going to be there and you don't want to bring it all in and find out you have to bring it all out. Once in a while, you're going to get a situation where you get bottles like this, and you're going to have some customers and they're going to want to refuse it. But it's better if they don't even know. I mean, this is still sellable product. You just, you know, here, pop it down. Sometimes they're harder than others. Usually you can just do it by hand and pop it. Well, that one, yeah, easy fix. That'll save you whatever this costs, 30 bucks, you know?
Yeah.
Money's money.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey.
And I stack my trays in my bay. The ones I pick up the most are the 20-ounce trays, so I'll put them sideways so I can get 1, 2, 3 stacks. And then usually I'll come back with like 2 stacks of 1 liter. And then I have room in the middle for the 2 liter. So that's a good way to maximize your space. These new pallets have these little ridges which holds the product from slipping when you drive, but listen to the sound. When you have something like cardboard with plastic wrapped around it on the bottom and you pull it, listen. Wait. See how it barely wants to move? It's gripping. You have to be very careful when you pull the stuff. Just don't pull like 2 cases like stacked on top of each other, because you will damage your arm. Seriously, these are a little bit dangerous if you ask me. Just be careful you don't hurt yourself in your ligaments. You can see how it just shreds the whole bottom of this case. That's all resistance on your elbow. For 2 liters, the max we're supposed to bring in is 5 cases at a time. So if you have a stack of 5, we just do 2 across and then 3 straight up. How's that pullback, Ryan?
Perfect.
Yep, good to go. All right, thanks. When you have 2 wheelers in a tight space, always put those wheels on the inside, and the other wheeler can just go right over the blade.
Perfect.
If you have a heavy load, you don't want to pull that load with your arm straight. Obviously you're going to be pushing at the bottom, you're going to be using your other arm to pull around the front. But what works for me is I tuck that elbow in. You tuck that elbow in when you pull. Otherwise, you're going to strain your ligaments right here. So don't pull, don't just try using all your bicep. Literally use your whole upper body. Tuck it in, and that way you're using a lot of your shoulder as well. Speaking of aisles, we don't go down. Here is the coffee aisle. Usually that's the first place a customer comes to in the morning, so we'll just use any other aisle and find a different path to the exit. It's gonna sound like common sense, but when I get the barcodes ready, let's see, I got 5 of these, so I only need to pop 1. I have 5 of the mocha, so I just pop 1. But what I do is I always have them facing my wheeler. So when I scoop it and I pick the product up and I bring it inside and I go over like this and I unscoop it, now all the barcodes are gonna be facing, so it's easier for them to scan. I've seen guys bring the product in and then they just bury the barcodes, and then when it comes time to get scanned in, they gotta try to turn the whole case around, the whole stack around. This is kind of a common sense issue that's gonna come up sometimes. This is a vending company out of a storage unit, so I'm gonna bring all this product in, but it's 15 degrees outside. So I'm not gonna bring a stack in, go all the way in, put it away, come all the way out, right? What I gotta do, I'm gonna run it in, drop it, come out, run another stack in, drop it, come out, and have this door. This door is gonna be open for less than a minute, period. Then once I get it in, I'm gonna shut the door and then I'm gonna put it all away. This snow removal bar we have around back behind the canopy, it takes obviously the snow off the top of your vehicle, because the driver is responsible for removing the snow, because if that ice is up and you're driving on the highway, that can break apart and can flip up in the air.
A sheet of ice flew off an SUV driving in front of that car and shattered the window pieces.
So Ryan's going to show you how to flip the lever on, the power on. Open that up. And then you look at the up and down button. So up, obviously down. So he's going to lower it. And the thing is, when it gets all the way down and it settles kind of loosely on top of the trailer, you start to drive. What's going to happen is whoever's operating this is probably going to have to lower it. You get about halfway down, and they're going to have to lower it again, because for some reason it kind of rises up. And then once you just rest it on here, the driver will just drive through. You can usually have the checker in the morning. He will come out there and he will operate this for you. Boom. So it'll rest right there, and obviously you pull forward, it'll just drag all that snow right off. And you're not gonna have to worry about the liability, because you will have done your job. Okay, so look at this, how such a limited amount of space that we have for this account. It's a lot of backstock. So in a situation like this, and if you're bringing in 30 cases into the cooler, you're like, oy vey, where am I gonna put it? So you come in, right away you start working the backstock, filling as much as you can, filling all the Gatorade, getting rid of, taking all the boxes out. And then when you bring in your product for today, it's kind of rotated, you're gonna have room. And another thing, since I mentioned the boxes, is you got to put yourself in the shoes of the people that actually work here. You're only here once a week. So at some point, people that work here are going to come in and they're going to want to work the backstock. And if you have like a bunch of boxes of Gatorade where you just took like 6 bottles out, 6 bottles out, 6 bottles, and it's all a mess, the kind of one, you know, human nature is just like, I ain't dealing with that. I'll just do with whatever's simple. So that's why I try to take out as many boxes as possible just to make it easier for them. Here is the cooler which you need to connect to the app every day. Sometimes it doesn't connect. Then you have to do the manual paperwork. So you see right here, this is cooler 1972, and it didn't connect in the canopy. I connected with a whole lot of other coolers. So what I did is I drove around to the front of the building and made a little distance between myself and all the other coolers, and then I tried to connect again, and it did connect, but it connected to cooler number 30. So not all of these doors match over time. You know, you pull a door, let's see what happens here. Boom. Some of them they're not even Velcroed on both sides. So every once in a while, these doors will get mixed up. So if it doesn't work in the canopy, try one more time around the front of the building. Otherwise, you're stuck doing the manual paperwork. Okay, so I'm supposed to be training, but trainers make mistakes. And sometimes when a mistake happens and you're training somebody, it's good because then that person knows how to avoid that type of mistake. So what happened is I just brought this order into an account and I printed the wrong invoice. I knew where I was supposed to be. I knew what I was supposed to be printing, but you know, you have the Apple iPhone and you fat finger it and you print the wrong invoice. You think you got the right one. It happens. It's going to happen. So I brought in a stack, a tall stack, and this is the benefit of working the backstock first. I started working all the backstock just to make room, and then when I was putting some of this 20 ounce away, I'm like, why did the guy order so much? Is there a holiday coming up on Monday? Is this a double order? My gut told me something was wrong. So sometimes you go with your instinct because sometimes your salesman will actually hit like 11 cases of like Pepsi, and really only supposed to be 1 case. He fat fingered it. So they want us to pick them up in that situation. But here I don't want to micromanage my salesman, but I went with my gut. And I went back up to the front desk and I checked the invoice, and sure enough I had printed the wrong invoice. So so if I had brought all this in and started stocking it, and then I found out I had the wrong order, then I would have to pull it all out. So that's why one of the reasons you want to do the back stock first, and just double check your invoice before you bring it in. So this is a situation you might have to run into. See, I'm not going anywhere. See the blade down there? If I would have let this door swing shut and hit that blade, it'll crack that glass.
Okay.
Right here, you're looking at a narrow cooler with boxes on both sides of the cooler, and you gotta run that gamut and get your product down towards the end, and you gotta navigate in a way that your blade on the bottom of your wheeler is not gonna nick a can of beer and spray beer all over the place. So customers, you know, I mean, eventually that's gonna happen here and there. But if you can just know about these things and be cognizant of it as you're going through. So I sometimes try to put something on the bottom of my stack that's going in that cooler that's going to cover both ends of that blade. Because if you put something narrow, I'll show you an example of both. If you put something narrow on the bottom, and sometimes that's going to happen. So just be careful when you go down those coolers, and don't be afraid to go down first and just start making yourself a little bit of room, because it's better to just avoid breaking your customer's product. I brought in 2 new flavors today. This one was already here, Major Melon. These stickers, sometimes they don't always match. The flavors change so often. Some of them are seasonal. But what I did was I didn't want to have, like, let's say I got 3 red colors. You don't want to have 3 red colors next to each other. So I had a red here, I put in a yellow, then I put in the red. That way it breaks up the colors. So red, blue, red, whatever. You can, you're not colorblind, but you get it, all right? Okay, base 6 is typically where they keep your bag in the box. And here is going to be your CO2 tanks. If you look on the invoice, it says Okay, right here, Diet Pepsi, 5. Dr. Pepper, 5. You got Gatorade Punch. But if you look, one is Gatorade and one is Tropicana. So make sure you're giving them the right one. I have Gatorade there. I have Tropicana here. But sometimes I've never seen a customer get both kinds actually. But typically it's just one type. And if you do have both, make sure you're giving them the right one. But when it says you have 3 and 3, you're not grabbing 3 boxes. This is actually a 3-gallon box, and this is a 5-gallon. So if it says 5 diet, you're just grabbing one 5-gallon bag. We have some bag-in-the-box syrup here. This is a Tropicana lemonade, but we have more than one kind of lemonade, so you really want to make sure you're pulling the right one. So you can see these barcodes. This ends in 6189. I look right here, lemonade 6189. Okay, on this invoice, I have ginger ale, brisk tea, cranberry, and starry 3-gallon bag-in-a-box. But this is what I'm going to do. When I see the Lipton tea, I want to see what the barcode number ends in, 002. So here I have brisk tea. This barcode ends in 002, 003, or 033. So I always look at this and I just go, okay, T2. Basically, so how I know I'm pulling the right tea. Because if you give these people the wrong tea, well, then the next customer is going to get the wrong tea. So you're doing wrong to 2 different customers. So just pay attention to those barcodes when you have something like this. Every once in a while, you're going to get a bag-in-the-box with no sticker. You know, one side might be stamped. So it's nice to carry a Sharpie so you can just, so the customer can see what it is. That's it. When you bring a bag-in-a-box syrup in, you can just check to see if their back stock is empty. And if it is, you would just unscrew this cap, replace it, screw the cap back in, and it'll start making a noise like pss, 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 and it'll start draining the syrup down, and your customers will be happy. Like one of those NASCAR drivers changing a tire.
I don't know if I'd let you change my tire, Greg.
Bro, tire. And then what do you got? You gotta go like that.
Oh, did you stuff the cap in the back and everything already? You slick, Rick?
Here's another one of those little things you can do to help out a customer. This is their sweet and sour. So this is a mix used by the bar upstairs. It's a very busy bar. A lot of townies hang out here. And typically when something like this runs out, they're busy and it's not easy for them to drop everything what they're doing to come down and swap it out. So what I'll do, if I have the time, is I'll bring in a new one. I'll just put it below. I'll pop the corrugated edge here. I'll pull this little nipple out. And so when they come down and when it's time for them to swap out this bib, all they gotta do is pop this, screw it in, and they can be upstairs in just a matter of seconds. And you will make their day. Okay, so we just had a situation where a customer said that they got an issue with their fountain machine. So we have to call the equipment repair occasionally, and sometimes there's a phone number, a sticker right on the side of the equipment that they, you know, for future reference, you can tell the customer if that ever happens again, just go ahead and call that number on the side. But whenever they bring it up with us, for sure, I will call that number. It's equipment repair. It should be in your phone. And they're just going to ask you a couple of questions like, what's the customer's address? Well, you know, I have it right here, but sometimes I'll just say, can I just give you the customer number? And the customer number will pull all that information. And then you just tell them what's wrong with the machine, like the gun's not working right, or it's leaking, or there's an air leak, or whatever the situation is. And then typically they will send out a repair guy that day or the next day. They'll ask you if you want a confirmation number. It's up to you. And just let the customer know whether they're going to be out that day or the next day. And as simple as that. And it's literally, you're on the phone for like 1 minute and you're done. Easy. All right, Ryan just put all the new dates on the bottom. You can see they have priced these stickers, so he's got all the old ones on top. He faced all these labels. Look at that. Oh yeah. Good job, Dre. This is not even my cardboard, but somebody at nighttime stocked the cooler, and the day shift, they left all the trash for the day shift. Of course, the day shift is busy, so they see you walking out with that, and guess what? Well, that's how you make friends with your customers. This is what I do with all my CVS's and Rite Aids. Break down the cardboard, the plastic, put it by the door, and they are happy. Some of our accounts we have to get scanned in, so when I'm outside in the parking lot, I'll flip all these bottles over and expose the barcode. This barcode won't scan because that's the outside of the box. This is the one you want. This outside is like, say for BJ's, they sell it by the case. And you can do the same thing here. Gatorades are all flipped. So let's say you rip open a plastic for a bay, and then that's the wrong bay. And now you're driving around with product that it might be another 2 hours before you deliver it. So it can get all tippy, and it's gonna fall all over. The glass is gonna break, and we're running around with $10,000 worth of product a day. So a trick you can use is just find an empty bay where you've got like some kind of foam. Just put it in there. This is the back of an account, and a lot of places where they have their dumpsters is where they're going to keep their empty blue trays. Okay, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to deliver to this coffee shop right here. So I'm not going to back down there to get close to the door because my vehicle is going to go beep, 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 and you have people up there sleeping. So lucky for me, it's a key account. I can go in, I can get it done and get out of here, so I don't have to worry when the parking lot's full when I come back later. But you just have to be cognizant of the neighborhood when it's this early in the morning. Even your doors, I open up my doors real slowly so they don't make a lot of noise, just out of respect for the neighbors, so they don't complain to the coffee shop and then the coffee shop takes my key away. I'm really big on getting as much cardboard out of the cooler as possible. You can see a lot of guys, vendors will just have all these half-eaten cases. So like I was talking about before, if the customer who works here comes in to stock and they look over here and they don't see all the cardboard, they like, this is what I do. I take I take a half a case out, I stock it, I put the back stock in these 20-ounce racks, and it's just a lot cleaner and easier for them to stock, and they don't have to go through all that garbage, which I'm going to take out when I leave.
Yes, sir.
Did you do returns at Speedway?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because they asked me to.
What a nice guy. And what are you doing here?
Return.
Now you're at Penguin. You're doing returns at Penguin.
Yes,
Why?
sir.
Why?
Because I found them in the back over the...
Wow, that's customer service right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We try to do our best.
Employee of the day.
I'm going for it. I'm going for employee of the month.
All right. See ya. Never block the aisle. Back at the end of my day, I'll parked in front of the canopy, I have product on this side of the truck because the customer refused it. So you don't want to get too close to the door. So when that door opens, you can tell the checker to come in, and he's gonna have to come out here and he's gonna have to pull it off this side of the truck. We're gonna get rid of these boxes and then put all the loose ones up here, and that'll give us a lot of extra space. So once you do all that condensing, now there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cases you can stack in there. Those Celsius are not gonna stack well on top of this, so I'll just throw a rack down. You're golden. That's 30. We picked up these credits, and this looks like a case of sellable, and it's the middle of March right now, but if you see that date, April 1st, you would say, okay, that's still a sellable product, I'm going to put it in a sellable. But actually no, you need 35 days worth of shelf life to bring it back into the warehouse as sellable, so that's technically out of date. You can see the back room here, how Coca-Cola just dropped all their product. This particular account used to have a full-time stocker, and they would just tell us to drop it out back, but they don't have that full-time stocker anymore. But Coke just kept on with that routine. So I always will leave the store with Pepsi looking better than Coke, always. They're never gonna beat us. So I'm bringing all my product in, and I'm going to stock it, especially if I have 2 people, and even if I'm not going to stock, let's say they say, oh, you can still drop it, I'm going to put it on the racks. I'm going to secure whatever, as much real estate in here as I can, so Coke can't take it, and I will fill the holes. And when we leave, we're the good guys, and Coke are the bad guys. So we're done with this account. We have nothing out there, and all of our product is up on the racks. We literally put Coke to shame, and all of our boxes are tossed outside. That's how we roll. So we've got this product right here in the cooler, right? Your Celsius, your 16 ounce, right? You got your Starbucks. Over here I've got 20 ounce. So you see the 20 ounces is pretty jacked right now. The Starbucks we'll put up here. It's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously we're gonna stock the 1 liters here, but where you're gonna make a name for yourself is how you leave this room when you leave. This particular account, I always put the Pepsi on one side and the Dew on the other, but you can see I've got 3 Pepsi. They're not all 3 buried on the bottom, so when I leave, tomorrow if they want to come in and stock, and they got 2 Diet on top of 3 Pepsi, they're just gonna, like, what's wrong with this guy? I gotta dig just to get Pepsi. So the way I do it is I kind of stagger. I got a Dew there, I got a Dew there, I got a Blue, I got an alternative flavor Mountain Dew, I got that. So this is kind of how you're going to make a name for yourself. You're going to set yourself apart really by it's kind of little things, common sense, critical thinking skills play a big role in this job. Leaving it to where you would like to see it if you came in and had to stock the next day. Here's a hack for you. That up, hold that open, go in here, reach behind there. Sometimes you have a little chain, they don't always have them. You put that there, boom, now you can stock. This is the CO2 paperwork when you go out. I went out with 2 tanks, I came back with 1. So you can see where I marked it. CO2 is delivered, 1, 2. Empty CO2, return 1. We'll just take it off the tank, off this, we call it a pizza oven. We'll just put it right over there at the end of the day. You can see right here I have the cure, and there's a note, key account code for lock. And I'm covering the code for obvious reasons, but I come to the back door, here's the key box, the lock box, but guess what? There's no key. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna leave this here for the customer, because they don't open till like 4 in the afternoon. It's a dinner place. This is just all covered up in the back. So So every once in a while, I mean, I know the customers, so if I were you, I would definitely call the supervisor and see if that's cool. Okay, I have two separate deposit stickers on here. We used to charge a $100 deposit, now it's $150. So there's two different line items in the computer for a credit. So I'm gonna do returns. And here's the empties, right? Empties. So in here you're gonna tap that. Oops, excuse me. Next. So here is 20 pound tank. So here's 20 pound. I'm gonna hit 1. Because this is for the $150 deposit. Then they added this line right here, 35 pound. We don't have 35 pounds. I think maybe it's 35 pounds when it's full. I'm not quite sure, but the 35 pound is for the original $100 deposit, which you're not going to run across many of those tanks anymore, but they're still out there in the trade. So you need to be able to do both. So you're not giving the customer more money as for a deposit than what they pay down. When we bring our product back at the end of the day, we pull into the canopy. The checker can only pull product from this side of the truck when you're inside the canopy. So we always put our empty trays on this side of the truck, driver's side, and typically this bay will be empty. And if our first delivery of the day is on the other side, then we'll grab a blue pallet once we kill that pallet, and we'll just bring the blue pallet over to this side because they won't even have a pallet here because we're gonna have our own anyhow. Then we'll use that for the empty trays. And then if you can get an empty bay towards the back of the truck, this is where you put my returns, and we'll separate the out of date from the breakage, from whatever sellable. But towards the back of the truck is where we put our out of dates in the warehouse. We'll just stack it over to the side, so it's nice that it's in the back of the truck when you want to do that. What's up, Ryan? Say hello to your fans.
What's up?
At the end of the day, if you have CO2 paperwork and chilled paperwork, they go up in these little bins right here. This one is chilled, and right here is CO2. Okay, I'm showing you a picture here of a typical restaurant, and the reason I'm showing you this is to show you what not to do, kind of keep you out of trouble, or at least, keep you from getting the stink eye, is you don't ever walk down the aisle where the chefs are cooking. And I always refer to them as a chef. Anybody who's cooking the food, I don't care if it's fast food or fancy restaurant, I always refer to them as chef. And so what you do is you go down around the back end or the front end, but you don't go down that section where they're cooking. Even if you're just walking without any product, you just don't go down that area. That's just that industry that's considered not a good thing to do. So it's just, it's just a way to stay professional when you're representing the company in a restaurant industry. You can see on your returns, this is what I'm bringing back. They're all single units. Here, it's my return detail, breakage return, out of date return. The customer doesn't really need that because if they scan it, if I'm printing the barcodes, it's because they need to scan it into the computer. So if I handed them this, sometimes they'll just keep scanning all the way down, and then they're gonna be like, what's going on, man? So what I do is I just rip it and just give them that. And obviously when you see this pink, it's time to change your roll. So really easy, changing the paper. Just keep extra rolls in your vehicle. It's a little knob on the side, you just pop it. And I don't know how you like your toilet paper, like this or like this, but the printer likes it with it scrolling out from the top. And then sometimes when you change the roll and at your next stop you try to print, it doesn't detect the printer. A lot of times I'll just pop the battery out, snap it back in, and it'll kind of reset, and you should be good to go. Every once in a while, you're going to get an account where the customer says, don't stock it, we're going to take care of it. So that's fine, we don't mind that, but you still want to do it better than Coke. You see how Coke has their product all stocked up on the ground here? But look at us. We're on the mules. And it's the little things like that make a big difference with the customers. So they're going to respect you and treat you well. Ryan's up in the back room too, apparently. Here's where we were going into the cooler, and just small little things. Everybody's happy. It's too much, man. Employee of the day. Sometimes you're gonna have the empty blue trays in a place that's very obscure, or it's hidden, kind of out of sight, out of mind. So if you don't see where they are, go ahead and ask them, where are the blue trays? And usually they get super excited that, you know, you're gonna care that much to grab them, because it annoys them when they don't get picked up. Okay, this might happen sometimes when you're sliding glass bottles all the way down to the front. Try to slide them as slow as you can and let go, or even fill from the front, because we had one break. So you can see there's a little bit of coffee on some of these other bottles, so obviously we don't want to leave. If the manager sees that, if they see you're giving them credit for a broken bottle and they come in here and they see all this coffee everywhere, they're gonna be upset. So it's another little thing that's part of the job, cleaning up after yourself. It's not perfect, but whatever's left over will eventually evaporate, and we can at least say, hey, you know, we cleaned it up, we gave it a good effort. You see where I'm gonna put these 2 liters right up in this rack, but I don't want to park like this, because you're just blocking the aisle. So just try to be cognizant at all times that you're going to be out of people's way, so a person can walk behind me and everything is clear. Just all the time, just keep that in mind. Here's a good example of when you have a pretty good size order, is stacking it up out of everybody's way so that somebody from the counter can still look over and see what you have, but at the same time customers can still get by. So what we have here really is a monster order, so same thing applies. You have to get creative to not block any of the aisles. You don't want to stack it right in the middle. Obviously you want to just push it to the side so you can fill the coolers, and then if a customer needs to get through, you can just stand aside and let them get through. But no matter what, you don't just block all the aisle and get on your knees and have trash everywhere. And just try to be respectful for the customers as they. When I park at an account, I always try to park in an area where I can pull straight out forward and I'm not going to be blocked in by anybody. You don't really want to park somewhere where you have to back out when you leave, because people can park behind you and block your exit. This is just the safest way I've found to get in and to get out safely. There's another video I want to film back to back to kind of reiterate how important it is to back in, or to park somewhere where at least you can pull forward when you leave, because this parking lot can get super busy, and if you had to try to back out of here when you leave, it could be trouble. So this is usually the safest thing, definitely. Okay, here's an invoice that I had to void because we had to pick up some credit, and I just wanted to have the credit on the same invoice, so they only had one bill to pay instead of 2 separate invoices. So I just voided this, made the credit, printed a new one. So every time you void an invoice, you have to write void on the invoice and the reason why. Simple enough, they'll figure that out. And then when we turn in our checks at the end of the day, we turn this in as well. We always have to take all voided invoices back and turn them in with our paperwork. A lot of times what's going to happen is your blade's going to get chewed up. When you scoop on the ground, sometimes you'll hit a rock or something. And so the fleet department, they will take a grinder and they will grind your blade for you. Especially like if you get a brand new blade, make sure they grind it, because those new blades, they stick to the ground and they're hard to scoop. But if you're on the road and you're having trouble scooping because it's just a little chewed up, you can find it. I mean, this is a rough edge, this is granite. Usually I try to find a cement curb where you can just take your blade and sharpen it. And that again is why they call me Scoop Dog Dog, baby.
And then I'll zoom in just to let them know that.
Yeah, this blade's getting a little long in the tube. Okay, so I just tried to pull this door open, and we've got a spring that goes across the top and it coils up. It broke. So I'm going to barely be able to pull this up, and I'm going to show you how to pull it up and how to prop it so you can still make this delivery, okay? Just use both arms because it's very heavy. So then at the end of your day, you write that up, broke the spring, you tell Fleet, they'll swap that out. I'll show you what that spring looks like. Right here, this is where it coils. So that whole bar, they'll just replace that whole bar. Now you're probably asking, what do you do, Greg, if it's in the top bay? If your product is in the top bay. Like right now, lucky for me, I don't have anything up there. I'm not gonna make the call that you can double stack this foam and pull it, because that could be dangerous. So if you don't think it's safe, bring it back. Okay, so it looks like I have a little bit of an air leak down here. By the moisture release. It's not sealing back shut, so the air is not leaking too bad. It's not draining down to zero, but I'm back at the barn, so I'm doing my post trip. You guys probably don't even need to be taught this, but this is my post trip and airline leaking. And I'll just type in what it is, and then I'll let Fleet know. When I stack my product, personally, I don't like to stack non-carbonated on the bottom because they're just not as strong. At CVS, we need to get scanned in, and then when we're done getting scanned in, we're gonna get this piece of paper. And I brought in 29 cases, so we need to make sure those numbers match. Because if this is not correct, it's a big problem. They can even literally refuse to pay the entire invoice unless we come back with this printout and turn it in at the end of the day with our checks. Right now, this account, which is typically pretty busy, is really quiet. So instead of bringing in a super easy stack that he can check in 1 second, I'm gonna bring in these oddballs so he can go through all of these. And then once he gets a little busy, I'll bring in like these straight up stacks. And then I'll just walk by the counter and he'll look at me and he'll go, okay, 6, okay, 6, okay, 5, whatever. It's just a little way trick, you can shave time. This is what I mean. This is the account now. It's pretty busy. So now I can just walk in and say 6 Gatorade. He'll be like, okay, 6 Gatorade, and off to work. If you can get all of your back stock off the floor, that's the way to do it. They like that. If you have to put a stack on the floor, just flip a tray upside down, stack it on top so the product is not on the floor physically. There's a little gap. This is a Coca-Cola tray. I don't want to bring this back. I want to transfer this to a Pepsi tray. There's an easy way. Sometimes when you come into the driver's room, there might be some product for you to bring out to a customer. So you got to check these pages and see if something like that is on your route. Then you need to throw it in your truck and bring it out with you. Here's an example of where I would stock product when I come in. Like I come in here, there's already some water on the side. So when I bring these 2 cases, I want to keep them on the same side. We're not going to put them here because it's going to block the cart and it's just double wide. So just keep in mind, even when it's a drop, how you put it so it doesn't, bother the people that work here when they come in and see what you did. Printed the barcodes for the customer, and then when I was done, he asked me to take one off the invoice right there. So instead of just reprinting this whole big long list, I just blocked out that barcode so he won't accidentally scan it, and we're good to go. When you park your truck to make a delivery, you don't park anywhere where you're gonna block in a truck. I mean, I know this parking lot's a bad example, but you always park so like people can get around you, other truckers can get by you and get through. You don't want to stop another man from doing his job, so don't block anybody in and just park so other people can get around. Here's another example of parking in a way to try to not be an inconvenience to other people. I kind of hugged it as close to this fence as I felt safe, And over here, there's still room for people to come in and park in the spots. And you get the product out of everybody's way. I don't think a fuel guy can get in here. Typically, if the fuel guy shows up, I'll move around the corner, but this is just a way so people can work around you and you're not an inconvenience to anybody. Once you finish unloading a bay, especially if it's on the passenger side, you make sure right away, before I even go inside, I shut this door, because you don't want to come out after you finish and then jump in the driver's side and forget that this is open, because you don't want that bay open when you're driving. A lot of these doors, they will shake while you drive, and they're kind of loose, so they might spring up when you're driving. So if you have a trailer like that, you can lock it. That way these doors won't bounce up, because the last thing you want is, something falling out like a pallet when you're on the highway and there's some poor guy on a motorcycle behind you. So definitely make sure you shut those doors all the way. And if you have loose doors, you can just lock it up like that in between stops. Here's an account where they want me to drop the product, but this is kind of a narrow a passageway here, so I spin it to the side so there's still room for people to get by. Don't just leave it the long way and make people crab walk to get by. You can see on this invoice here that I'm bringing in 1 liters, 20 ounce, 16 ounce, 16 ounce here, 13 ounce, 20 ounce. Right here we have Tropicana, so that's the chilled product. See, all this is in bay 14. This is bay 14 that's open. And down here we have the orange juice on the other side, and then we have the naked juice. So we have 4 plus 3. So we have 7 in the chilled cooler out of a total of 34. So 34 minus 7 means I should be expecting 27 in this bay 14. So you look at the sticker right there, 27. So you've got a good idea that you've got the right product. Now we just double check it once we pull it off. Here's another example of parking in a way you're gonna help out the other drivers. There's the door where all the deliveries go in. I just have this little narrow passage right here, and I'm telling you, every time I come here, another driver shows up. Beer guy, Walgreens truck. So I'm doing my best to kind of tuck it away in the corner. It's not easy where you can get room to pull from this side or the other side, but anybody else who comes, they're gonna have a straight path. And most drivers will not do this. They will just park right here, and then the next delivery guy is gonna have to sit here and wait. Could be a half an hour, and it's just, I try to avoid doing that, just as a courtesy. Well, look what happened. I backed up with enough room for him to get in. He just happened to pull in after I did this training video, but I don't know if he left me room to get out. It's gonna be close, but. Here's another common sense thing you can do. This stack right here, everything on this stack is 1 flavor each. And from the mug down on that stack, those are all duplicates of what's on this stack. And then on top, I have the Pepsi Zero, I mean. So when I go in and work the cooler, I'm gonna work this stack. And I know the only thing I'm gonna possibly need from this stack, because they can only fit 1 case each, in this particular cooler, is gonna be the flavor on top. So I'm not gonna bury that on the bottom and then go in and go, oh, I gotta, dig this whole thing all over again. So it's just work smarter, not harder, right?